We're going to do this. And it's going to be pitch perfect.
Welcome to the Gentlemen Sit Down. We are an untraditional podcast.
Trying to be traditional gentlemen.
I am Satirius Lemitius.
I'm Joshua Callahan.
Links in the description for social medias. And if you like this video, please give it a like, comment,
Record it. Share it to somebody. Put it in
Yeah.
your VCR, record it, and send it out to the world.
subscribe,
Wait,
follow,
people
all
have
that
those
stuff.
things?
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe classic films on VHS.
Yeah, that's right.
Today,
What are we talking about today?
we're going to be talking about the idea of perfectionism.
Yeah.
That's right. A lot of people, a lot of everyday people, they suffer with the idea of being perfect. I am a victim of this. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend I don't suffer from this. I suffer from it.
I used to be shackled by the like oppressive chains of perfectionism, and then I said no more, and I broke off the shackles and got messy. No, I mean, there's a lot of pressure to be perfect. I remember when I was in school, I had to go back and I had to rewrite essays or things. I remember the tests. I had to get 100s. I had to be perfect in it. Like, I was book smart and like test perfect, but I didn't retain some of that knowledge. Like, Spanish is a good thing. I ace Spanish. Tell me to speak Spanish right now, and I'll tell you, me llamo es Josue. And that's the extent of my Spanish. But I mean, La biblioteca. See, I can't even put that in a sentence. But it's just like, the things that you use mostly stick with you. But it's this idea of like, when I was in school, it was about getting that A, it was about, my tasks in life. Religion tells you to strive for this perfectionism. And I've learned, I can do that as a North Star, but I'm never going to get to Alpha Centauri. It's going to guide me that way, but I'm never going to,
Right.
I can imagine myself there and the dream of hoping to be in that perfect place, but it's the journey to get there. And that's what life is anyway. So that's how I kind of navigated perfectionism from my point of view. How did it, you feel like it's a negative or it's something that weighs on you?
No, I think
You say you're a victim.
it's a toll that it takes. Yeah.
How much does it cost?
I don't know. I think it's different every time you go to the toll. I don't know. There's always this idea ever since like once I graduated high school and I got to college, there was this idea I needed to be perfect. Like I was in the honors program and I wanted to, I have to graduate with honors and I have to do well in these classes. I have to do well in this school. And every time I do something, it needs to be 100% effort. This, that, blah, 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 blah. And then when I started working at the place I currently work at, I there was this idea I needed to be perfect at everything. I needed to stand out by doing the job perfectly and trying to do it better than everybody else. And you know, and it was just this obsession of wanting to be perfect. And even now, I suffer with it now. I'm doing I'm working a full-time job, pretty much full-time gig, and trying to work on this, trying to make it, I'm trying to release every single week. I'm trying to keep that the release of the podcast,
The momentum.
yeah, the
drive
momentum,
going.
keep it perfect, keep it the way it is. Once a week, you flush it out. I'm trying to I'm trying to promote it as perfectly as I can on Instagram, and I'm trying to, chasing this perfect idea of how I want to do this project, and and like even the way I'm editing it, like I'm trying to refine how I edit it every single day, every single time I have to edit it,
Mm.
oh, and like it's just chasing this perfection, this idea of being perfect. And I think I've gotten better in the last couple years on being a perfectionist. I've been letting myself have a little more leeway and letting myself rest and letting myself,
Giving yourself grace.
yeah, giving myself some grace,
Yeah.
giving myself the ability to allow myself to stumble a bit, because it's inevitable. You're gonna, if you're walking forever, eventually you're gonna get tired. You're gonna stumble, So,
I know that pressure. I remember like very early on, you were talking about chasing this perfection idea, like making, and it made me think of the connection from the reality of the situation to this perfect vision you have of it. And like when I would sit down and I would draw, I was so frustrated with myself because I couldn't like draw what was in my head. Like I couldn't do that. Like I consider myself artistic and imaginative and whatever. So I would sit down and like, and comic books got me into this because I would be like, I would want to draw like them, but I could trace and follow along, write down, and make it look just like I can mimic a copy, right? But if I wanted to picture a bird, then draw a bird, it would look like scribbles. And I would get so frustrated with myself. Why can't I do it? Another thing that I learned is like, I could do that if that's what I wanted. I need to practice. The practice makes perfect, is the saying, right? The idea that practicing something, you're not really trying to get perfect. It's the idea of practicing is perfecting those things that you desire from it. Like whether it be the drawing or whether it be an exercise, whether it be yoga, the practice of yoga, or the practice of a sport or a game or technique.
yeah, 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 yeah. Instead of trying to chase to do something perfect right off the bat, it's like, no, like, you know what? You're doing something, keep working at it. It's never gonna be perfect. Like there was this script that I started during quarantine and we started shooting it. And now I'm like revamping the whole thing. Um it's just this endless, pursuit of just getting better at
Yeah.
what you want to do. And I'm getting better at how you want to tell. I don't know. I mean, me personally, how getting better at how to tell the story I want to tell, but just getting better at how you are doing your work and how you're leading your life.
We say
Y-
it's kind of like a competition. We've talked about competition before,
Yeah,
but this competitive nature in yourself, is it to get perfect or just to win? Is winning overcoming an opponent or overcoming yourself? Like, are you seeing perfect as something presented, an idea presented by somebody else, or your own perfection, like your own idea of what's perfect?
I would say it's both for me personally. I'm trying to reach this level of perfection that I would be satisfied with, and also reach this level of perfection where other people are recognizing it.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of institutions. This is where I find people stumble or have a lot of trouble. It's the institutions, most namely, maybe, a religion where they gives you this idea you got to be perfect. You got to be perfect. You're shooting for that perfect, or you're not gonna get into heaven. You're not gonna do it. Don't you want to go to heaven? You got to be perfect.
Yeah.
you know. Oh, it's the institution of collegiate institution. Go on, the list goes on and on. And they create this structure that you have to be perfect on. And I say you strive for that, but if you want to break it down, you got to know the rules first before you can break them. So maybe you go as far as you can with something. And then he was like, well, I'm not there yet. Well, break the rules then. Break the rules to get there, to get to that next level, next step, or get close to the perfect. And then, but once you use that phrase, breaking the rules, it's no longer perfect. I'm like, it's a conundrum.
I've been getting real, uh, I guess, comfortable with the idea that you're not going to be great at everything. you touch or do, you know?
Yeah.
So you kind of
Jack of
just,
all trades,
yeah,
master of none.
exactly. Like
Or
you
I
really
know.
got to just key in, focus in on what you want to do and what kind of life you want to live and the things that you want to master at. Get really good at that. Just do it. Don't overthink things. Don't over. That's another problem I've had is I've overthought a lot of things where I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, oh man, like you know, like I'm thinking so far into the future about things that like yeah, I'm not supposed to have the answers to those questions because I didn't do the small steps I need to do to even get close to really start asking the questions.
Yeah.
I'm just asking the questions now, you know? And that's why I just like I've been letting myself kind of just chill out and just like, okay, you're in control of what you're in control of. Here's the, stoic philosophy, right? Here's the now, here's the present, here's what you are, here's what you're doing. Do that. You're in control of this, all right, do it. You're in control of this, okay, do it. Control it the way you want it to be controlled. Bring it to reality the way you want reality to be about it, right?
Hmm.
So do that. And everything else that
Yeah.
is to come, let it come. Don't fear the future. There's this quote I read where something about a man amounts to nothing if he dwells on the past, neglects the present, and fears the future. So don't dwell on the past. Don't dwell on like, well, what if I made this choice, or what about this, or if this never happened, or if this thing that happened didn't stop me. Like it's out of your control. Those things that those kinds of questions or those kinds of like trains of thought. It's like it's already like if this or that. It's like those are other things. Those are external things. There's nothing you could do about it. And then if you're neglecting the present, it's like you're not living in the moment. You're not seeing what's right in front of you and how you can grab hold of it, do something with it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then if you fear the future, no one's future is certain. You can go to college, you can go to Harvard for law, okay? And there's no guarantee you're going to be a great lawyer just because you went to Harvard and for law, you know, to be a law student or
No
a lawyer,
promises.
whatever. There's nothing. There's no promise. You have no one's future is secure or set. The only people that end up making it seem like their futures are set are the people that are living in the present. They're living for the moment, and they're saying, "This is what's in front of me. This is what I'm in control of. I'm going to control it to work in the way I want it to work." And that's the best you could do. So many people just to finish my tangent I'm kind of on. um, so many people. Every time I talk to someone, sorry, every time I talk to someone uh, about their success. It's just it's like and they weren't like born into it or handed it or inherited it or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, every person I've spoken to about their success, self-made people, uh, it always like it always the way they tell their story, it always feels like it was they worked their ass off on what they could work their ass off on, and they kept moving forward, and there was some luck. There was some luck that played, and it's almost like they fell into their circumstances. Most people who are self-made success, they didn't plot out each course and step on each stepping stone and everything worked out perfectly. That happens to very few people. Very few people. Most people who have attained their success and their self-made success, they've dreamt of their success that they're at now. Sure, they planned for it, they worked their ass for it, but they also, they themselves even say it like, yeah, like I planned to be here, I dreamt of being here, but I'm not. I would be lying if I said everything I planned for went according to my plan. No, things that I planned for happened, but they didn't fall in the way I planned for them to fall. They planned, they planned for their life, but it fell into the way it falls, and it's almost like you fall into your success. You groom yourself to be. It's it's kind of like something. It's something Marcus Aurelius said, but I don't remember the exact quote. So I'm just gonna paraphrase the idea, the thought process that I had when I read it, which is basically, you prepare yourself to be the man or the woman, whoever you are, to be whoever it is you want to be. You prepare yourself, you work your ass off to be that person. So that when the time comes, when opportunity presents itself, you can step into it and deliver the way you want to deliver and receive the outcome that you expect to receive.
It's a lot to chew, Sterius. A lot to chew up. It's a
Yeah.
big meal.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, no, it's just I've got several things to react, and I didn't want to like interrupt your stream of consciousness. But the idea of perfectionism, like for me, when I was talking about how I came to terms with it, I think is not just what I have learned, but what many people have learned where they make decisions for themselves. They realize that stop making decisions based on somebody else's idea or ideal for what is perfect, what is the best way to do something. They make decisions saying, you know, I decide for myself, this is good enough for me. And you got to find out what that metric is. You got to find out for yourself how you measure up against your own perfectionism. I'm going to make choices like to be a jack of all trades, master of none. There's nothing wrong with that phrase because you know what? I'd rather have had experience with many different things than just master one thing at the end of my life and say, I was a master of that. That's great. That's good. It is good. But for me, it was always an idea of touching many things and then letting it speak to me when I would go on the practice to mastering it and being like, this practice is fun and worth it, but I'm making the decision now to do something else or to go down another road or to put this book down and start another book. You know, it's that choice you make for yourself that's ultimately important. And people throughout time have done it. And then another thing about usually you talk about an actor. I've heard many people talk about their successes as well in terms of the field of acting, directing, or film or whatever, and it's always when luck and opportunity meet preparedness. You just got to prepare yourself, and you're prepared by practicing, being in the practice of doing what you want to do. So when you're lucky and you stumble into a room or of the right people, you know what to say and what to do, and you can be confident on what to say and what to do because you've done something very similar to it, or you're prepared to put yourself out there. Ultimately, perfectionism is a rubric, it's a metric, it's something that somebody else has placed up there. You can have, I believe, a different. You can sculpt that figure, make that metric different for you, and that's okay. It's good to have a societal like model for what is perfect. It's good to a certain degree,
Yeah.
but when it takes over everybody's psyche and they're like, I want to be like that perfect model. I want that perfect body.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's their DNA. That's their journey.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good to have goals to shoot for as long as they don't overwhelm you.
I always thought of it as myself right now, like where my mindset's at is I've created this perfect ideal version of myself, the skills I would like to have, the body I would like to have, the life I would like to live, the wisdom I would like to uh, obtain
Achieve.
and continue to obtain as I get older. Um, that's kind of the, you know, like I know it's kind of cringy to bring up Matthew McConaughey's. Uh,
Oh my God. If you bring
um,
up a Lincoln car
no, no,
commercial,
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
going
no,
to throw you out the
no,
window.
no, no, no. I know it's a little cringy to bring up Matthew McConaughey's uh, speech when he said, "Oh, who's your hero?" And he's like, "Oh, my hero is me 10 years from now." But that's literally, I think I'm doing the same thing and didn't even realize it. And like I always heard that quote and I always thought about it and I always thought it was great, but I never set myself up to really think exactly 10 years from now. Like me, like I'm 25 now, so me at 35. And I
Do you one
see,
better. Make your hero the man of today.
Yeah.
You of today. Why gotta be you 10
Yeah.
years from now?
Well, what I mean is, what I mean
No, I
by
know what you mean.
yeah,
I'm just making an argumentative statement.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like, you
don't be
know,
afraid of the future. You said that, and
that's
embrace the now.
yeah, that's a Marcus Aurelius quote too. I'm going off on Marcus Aurelius today, but that's a Marcus Aurelius quote too,
Hey,
where
there's
he
a
says,
video about Marcus Aurelius in here if you want to learn some things and maybe some ideas of stoicism.
yeah, episode
Plug.
7, episode 7 of our podcast. Um, but
God bless you.
thank you. But yeah, Marcus Aurelius said the same thing. He's like,
He said, "All right, all right, all right."
no, he said something about don't think of what a good man should do or argue what a good man should do. Just be one, you know. So
I was thinking in my head, I may have heard this quote before. I was thinking, just be the good man. Yeah, and you
Yeah.
said that. Yeah,
yeah, so
I think I might have heard of it. Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of how I see it, and I know like that's what the art of perfectionism kind of, you
It's an
know,
art. Yeah.
yeah, that's what kind of did to me. It's like at first I was trying to be this perfect, ideal version of a man that I thought I was expected to be. And then I realized I'm only expecting myself to be that man. So I shouldn't feel like this. I shouldn't feel like it's this burdensome task. It's not. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it
Mhm.
because this is my personality. This is who I am. This is who I want to be. You know, I already am this person. I just don't have um the success yet to show it. You know, and
But
I
if
also don't have the years of experience and wisdom yet either.
but if the idea of being perfect stops you from moving forward, that's when it becomes cumbersome and gets in
Yes.
your way.
Yes.
That's when it becomes a trap or a pitfall.
Yes.
It's like you can't let the idea I got to make the right choice, the perfect choice, stops you from making a friggin' choice. Then shed it.
Yeah.
You
Shed
know
it.
that's wrong. Think about it. It's like
Shed it or shit it.
shed it or shed it. You know, it's it's like just be. Just be in the moment. Of course, I'm can't help but to be in the moment. I'm here, but it's what you do with the moment. And if you're deciding this is going to be the perfect moment, so you don't want to do anything, that's not perfect.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Right now, my mindset towards perfectionism is remember the past. Use it to help you make informed decisions in the present.
I hope leaders do this.
Yeah. Plan for the future. And don't fear don't fear the future. Just plan for it. Plan where you want to go. And then look at how you have to get there. Look at potential obstacles. Don't let those obstacles fear you into thinking, it's unattainable. It's impossible. No, it's not. It's not. If you feel like you can get there and you're going to do it your own way, there's so many people. There's all right. There's this
Breathe.
There's there's so many people that have put their footsteps in the sand, right? And a lot of people find it easier to just try and follow the footsteps that are already in the sand. But the reality is this.
I was being carried by the man who made the footsteps.
Maybe.
No, wait, what? Isn't that the poem?
But
Go ahead.
but but the reality is this. People don't realize that all the footsteps in the sand, they've already been put in place by every individual that's lived. Everyone walks their own path, no matter what. So some paths are similar to other people's paths, but nothing really changes.
Robert Frost said, walk the path less taken.
Yeah. Guide your own path. Walk in the sand that no one's walked into. If you know the general vicinity where the oasis is, then go towards it.
They all lead to the beach.
That's it.
Jump in the water. Just get to the beach.
That's it. Focus on yourself. Do the best you can. Bust your ass.
Be ready. Be ready for the opportunity and for good luck to hit you because, I don't know, there may be a lot of bad luck out there. Can't always be bad luck.
Yep, it's true. I think we
That was
covered it.
good.
Yeah.
That was good. I like it. I feel more perfect. I feel perfecter.
I think I understand.
More perfect than I did yesterday.
Yeah, I think I understand perfectionism a little bit more, and I could see how it's the positive driving
It
force.
is. It can be a positive drive. Yes. It's like the fuel in the tank, but it ain't the car.
Oh, it's not the car.
And then it's certainly not the one driving it. You're the one driving,
Boom.
right? I want to be a passenger going, watch out! Put on your blinker, watch out! And I'll yell out the window for you. Somebody tries to cut you off.
There you go.
I'll be that guy.
Boom. Well,
That's a big analogy.
yeah, but it's perfect.
I see what you did. Freeze frame.
Yeah. All right, well, I have been Ceterius Lemitius.
I've been Joshua J. Callahan.
We have been the Gentleman's Sit Down. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow. Links in the description for social medias, all that jazz.
Follow us.
Yes.
Follow
Get
our footprints
involved.
in the sand.
Yeah, get involved. Get involved. Be a part of the channel. We hope you have a great week. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.